could be really ugly, you could be the most gorgeous person in the world. They don't care. They just want your friendship. They want to be your friend.
People say, oh, you're so great for doing this. You know, his parents should be so happy and this and that. And I feel like saying, you don't really understand what's going on here, you know? I'm the one that's getting out of this.
They're not just the sad kid or, oh, that's such a pity, I hate that. It's not a pity. These children are here and they are awesome kids. It's a pity that we don't get it. That's the pity.
These children? What children? And who is that woman? I'm Eli Zaret, and this building is the home of the Friendship Circle. 18 years ago, that woman, Basi Shemtov, along with her husband, quite simply wanted to find a way to help people in need. The vision they created and then put into action has gone on to transform the lives of thousands of your fellow Detroiters.
The circle never ends with people who love and care for me. The circle never ends with people who care to make a difference in me. The circle never ends.
It's a brutally hot afternoon for the Family Day picnic at the Friendship Circle, a place where friendship, connection, and unconditional acceptance takes place. Special needs children from all walks of life, about 70% of them with autism, are here with their families, finding common ground and comfort. The building, called Lifetown, was completed in 2005, funded by donors who'd been awed by the Friendship Circle phenomenon. Like here in a simulated village, kids are taught essential life skills like how to follow traffic signs and exchange money for goods.
Only $4?
You want to make sure you get all along the gum line.
Basi and Levi Shemtov are followers of Menachem Schneerson, the prominent rabbi of the Chabad Lubavitch movement, who had a core belief that all souls are alike. In 1994, Basi and Levi were newlyweds in their early 20s.
Rabbi Schneerson taught us the beauty of a person's inside, to really look into a person and realize, what is this person? This person is really very similar to myself. So that was the driving force of what could we do to help somebody else.
Really, at the core of it was friendship. We're going to go and try to figure out who needs friends.
And so Levi decided to meet with different community leaders to see who else needs friendship, who's in isolation. As simple as that.
That was my question. I asked them, can I come and talk to you? And they said, yes. And I sat down and I said, who needs friends? And all ideas came up.
Levi decided that he wanted to start Friendship Circle, actually for people suffering from addiction.
But everyone always said, if are you doing something new, do something for children with special needs.
People just kept saying, special needs is really not being taken care of.
But I would say, Basi, there's just the two of us. How many kids can we be friends with?
And I loved working with teenagers. I really enjoy motivating them, empowering them.
And that's when we got it. We said, okay, you're going to motivate youth to help children with special needs.
The Shemtovs then started recruiting teens like Jenna Silverstein to befriend children with special needs, like 6-year-old Evan Lovey, who has autism.
There are definitely things that set him off. He doesn't like sirens. He doesn't like when people cheer or clap. But then there are times where, like you saw downstairs, who knows why he was doing what he was doing, so.
When I was younger, I was afraid of them, very afraid of them. And then when you get to know them, you're like, oh, they like to go outside and play just like I do. They like to go play basketball. They like to go to the movies. They're just like everyone else. They just have a different way of showing it. I feel like these kids are so painfully misunderstood, and I want to show the world who they truly are.
The real catch was, how would these kids impact our teens? And that's the miracle that happens every day. This child is not full of judgment, is not in this materialistic world that all they care about is money and looks and what do I have and how smart am I? This child with special needs is pure soul.
Children with special needs run the gamut. Evan is fun-loving and energetic, but still fits within what is called the autism spectrum.
The 3 hallmark symptoms of autism is you'll see a delay in language development, a delay in socialization, and repetitive behaviors or repetitive sort of movements. And the severity of those symptoms is where the patient will sort of lie within the spectrum.
While the root causes of autism aren't fully known, its prevalence is alarming. 1 in 88 newborns is believed to be somewhere on the spectrum.
Autism is actually a developmental disability or a pervasive developmental disorder. What the spectrum disorders are is you'll see a range in severity of illness. I don't think yet that anybody has a real handle on what the cause of autism is. There is a lot of research that's showing that there's a genetic predisposition. 50 years ago, they thought it was poor parenting. Clearly, we've learned that that's not the case.
The Friendship Circle isn't about research, it's about the execution of the simplest of plans, connecting the souls of those who have trouble making friends with those who know how to. Up next, he's never uttered a word, but at the Friendship Circle, he's a celebrity.
We've known about the Friendship Circle for a long time. Like many people, we're moved by the story behind the Friendship Circle. I mean, everyone who walks in there comes out a different person.
Everyone should have friends. Everyone should have companionship. And no one should ever have to live their life by themselves. So often when you're disabled, people will focus on, the physical things that you need, your rehab, your therapy, your education. But often is the case that people don't really pay attention to the social needs and wants and desires and companionship that is so critical for people to develop, especially people who have special needs, especially people who have disabilities.
And the Friendship Circle is a place where children and these families can go and they can be themselves and they can celebrate their families as they are. We feel good about the work of the Friendship Circle and really blessed to be able to participate in it and really advance their mission.
We actually made a lifetime commitment that we would be engaged in this mission for as long as we live and are able to be engaged in it. There's no retirement, there's no promotion out of this into something else, and there's no leaving.
It's like the movie The Terminator, when the guy says he absolutely, positively will not stop. And Bossy is she's like pound for pound the most powerful person in the world. When you give money to charity, you want your money to be used to the maximum extreme possible. And that's going to come down to the people that are running the place.
I would say about 4 years into Friendship Circle, we created this whole proposal to build a park. We were psyched, but one of our dads raises his hand and says, "Why are we building a park in Michigan?" Levy and I were like dying. You're joking. You're gonna kill this project?
We had really put our time and energy into building this playground. And in 2 seconds, it was over.
So the next day, Sherry Kaufman, Levy calls Sherry, one of our top supporters. And she's like, "Levy, we can't build a playground. I thought that's what the dad said." So Levy's like, so she's like, we gotta build a building.
We realized that these kids, all they needed was to give them the chance to learn life skills, and have a comfort level in things that we take for granted. The parents go through serious emotional pain and suffering when they see their child unable to do the simplest of tasks. We don't understand the trauma that some of these children have going to a movie theater.
We used to have yearly annual honoring our volunteer dinners. And in the magazine that we printed for the dinner, it had our dream. And over there, we kind of laid out what is our dream for this building.
And I said, Lifetown. We need a Lifetown. We need Lifetown.
Fortunately, in the audience at that dinner when the Lifetown dream was first shared was the grandfather of 2 teen volunteers who would come to play a key role.
Levy, I liked him right away. He said, "I had a dream, someday I'm going to have something like this." And I went up to him and I said, let's make a deal, buddy. And we did it.
And then the rest is history.
We all practice etiquette.
Marcia Manson, a retired special ed teacher, found a new mission at Lifetown. She is masterful at engaging kids others may find intimidating.
I have friends who can't even walk in the building, and I can hug every single person, no matter what they look like, or no matter how they act, or what comes out of their mouth, good or bad. If I can get a child who runs around in circles to come in here and sit down on my lap, if not a chair, in color for the first time, that makes you feel so good that you've done something to make these parents feel good. They have it difficult at home. Some parents have more than one special needs child.
Friendship Circle is Julie Zorn's haven. Both of her boys, Sean and Drew, have autism, a doubly heavy burden to bear.
There is grieving along the way as you see other kids leading normal lives and growing and changing in different ways. If I look on one side, I could see all the things that as a parent I won't have, that my kids won't have. Even something as simple as them being able to say, my stomach hurts, or I'm really hungry, can we go here? When we come here, my boys are the norm, and they can just be themselves, and we can relax. There's so much acceptance and love and connection. And my kids play baseball where they couldn't play on a traditional team, but they can play baseball here. They give something here at the Friendship Circle. It's beyond words. It's just magical.
Sometimes in life, we need to swim in uncharted waters to reap personal growth and inner joy that those on the sidelines can't. Carrie Heller is Jordan Kahn's friend. Jordan's 14, at the low end of the autism spectrum, also has cerebral palsy and can't speak. Carrie, a recovering addict, was working on the construction of the building.
The first kid that ran into this building, I was here because I was working. And he just ran up to me and gave me a hug. And I knew it. I mean, I knew that that was something special. Some people are drawn to certain situations and some people are drawn to others. And I'm drawn to these kids instinctually. And I owe them a lot. Really, I owe them my life.
Nobody knows. He is the one child that the neurologists, the doctors, nobody can pinpoint what's wrong. He's gone to U of M, he's gone to Children's, he's numerous tests, MRIs. He can't express if he's in pain. If I didn't have the Friendship Circle, I'd be in big trouble. I mean, I would, because he has no friends. I can't get help from the state. Nobody wants him. And at the Friendship Circle, they actually have a waiting list of kids that want him as their kid to volunteer for him. Carrie can discipline him and he can teach people to discipline him. I follow like how Carrie says, Jordan, you are sitting in the chair and you're not moving.
Because of Carrie's affection for Jordan and his ability to reel him in, Claire hired Carrie to spend additional time with him.
Jordan hears things, Jordan feels things. He has good moods and bad moods, and they change from minute to minute and hour to hour, just like the rest of us. Because he can't talk with words does not mean that Jordan doesn't talk. Jordan says more to me than any other person I've ever known. I'm with him on the weekends, and on Wednesdays we play baseball together at Miracle League, but I get only a glimpse of what it's like to live with Jordan. And after the weekends that we spend together, I'm just beat, I'm exhausted. And I can't imagine how hard that must be for a mom or a dad of a child with special needs.
Up next, she's bright, engaging, and provides an uplifting lesson for all of us.
When you think about it, Wayne State University Medical School has trained more than 40% of the physicians in the state of Michigan. And when your physician needs an expert to call, he's going to call one of the physicians from the Wayne State University Physician Group, because the people that taught him are the people at the Wayne State University Physician Group. Good morning.
Good morning.
We're 750 physicians. We are the third largest physician group in Southeast Michigan. We represent every specialty in medicine except pediatrics. We are committed to research, we are committed to teaching, and we are committed to practicing the highest quality state-of-the-art medicine possible. Wayne State University Physician Group feels that it needs to be an important member of the community that it serves. Our patients, our families live in this community, and we feel that it is so important to support the mission of the Friendship Circle. To have our name aligned with their name, we thought was an honor that we didn't want to miss.
Jordan is Jordan, doesn't matter what he understands. God created him, and let me tell you, God makes no mistakes. So everything that God does is for a reason. And Jordan is here in this world. To me, it's kind of obvious because I see people are being changed by this kid. We don't even know why we're here. We know we have to do something. We have to be, do some positive things to society, but a kid like Jordan could do something that we could never do.
The same is said of Lilia Bromberg, now 21. She's been a Friendship Circle star since the age of 4. She's bright, perceptive, and generally upbeat despite cerebral palsy and a lifetime of serious health issues and wheelchair confinement.
We struggle through life to get what we need, and I'm just to that point where, sometimes I just need friends, and they're always around, which is a good thing. It seriously does take a lot of hope and courage to even survive what I've been through.
In the same apartment complex in Oak Park where Lilia's parents live, Bossy and Levy arranged to have a unit built just for her to accommodate her special needs. Jenna Krinsky is one of a steady stream of friends and volunteers who come by to see her new place. The apartment owner donated the space, and area businesses freely gave the materials and the work. Here, Lily enjoys a measure of independence, entertaining friends and volunteers.
It's nice to have my own independence because I've never really had a place of my own.
After school, volunteers come to her house and they hang out, they do art projects, they go on the computer, they do Facebook. When she was younger, they would read books and glue and color. She loves crafts. Volunteers have a hard time in the beginning with her because she's intimidating. If you don't really give her all you have, she'll say something to you. Her greatest quality is her positive outlook on life. If Lilia could only have someone that could help her write a book of all of her quotes and her perception on life, you would never believe that the person that's speaking is sitting in a wheelchair, unable to do anything for herself.
Even my parents see me and don't even believe that I, can keep my spirits going. But like again, the whole Friendship Circle team has my back, and it's just amazing to have that kind of support. And I keep thanking Bossy, but I don't, think that's enough. A simple thank you is not enough for what she's done.
The Friendship Circle was created for kids who struggle to make and maintain friendships. Energetic, athletic Robbie DePaulo was in 4th grade when his mom became very concerned.
He couldn't make friends, he couldn't get along with the teachers, he would misunderstand typical 4th grade joking. These were things I couldn't figure out how to teach Robbie. How to get along with a kid, how to listen to somebody else's ideas. You could talk to Robbie and say, hey Robbie, I'm gonna go to Disney World. And Robbie would be like, that's great, I just found this rock. It's really cool rock. It's got speckles over here, and I think it's quartz. And that would be Robbie. He didn't get it. So my husband and I talked about it a lot, and we decided to get him evaluated and find out what's going on with him.
And the determination was Asperger's syndrome, a mild disorder at the high end of the autism spectrum, characterized by difficulties with social interactions.
We're homeschooling Robbie. A big part of homeschooling Robbie has been Friendship Circle. He learned how to play floor hockey, He learned how to make friends, and now this past school year, he played ice hockey in Detroit, and he made friends.
I love archery. I love it. I love it. I love archery. The reason that I wanted to be an archer was because of the Marvel superhero Hawkeye. If you see the new Avengers movie, he's in there. Someday I want to get a real bow and arrow. Yep, I want to get a real bow and arrow, and I want to be able to do target practice with it.
With nurturing volunteers, the Friendship Circle is allowing Robbie to further evolve into just what he and his family want him to become, a typical kid. With special needs children, the future as an adult can be murky. Up next, how one Friendship Circle alumnus is forging his.
New Oakland was started over 20 years ago by my father and child psychiatrist, Dr. Ishmael Sendi. Dr. Sendi really wanted to provide a comprehensive mental health system of care for children and families in Southeast Michigan. He felt that children and adolescents were being unnecessarily hospitalized and the state system was failing. I think New Oakland and the Friendship Circle are in many ways kindred spirits because we really work with many of the same types of children with autism. New Oakland from a treating and diagnosing perspective, and Friendship Circle obviously from a community support and respite perspective. Working with children with autism and emotional developmental disabilities is extremely challenging. What Basi and Levy have done is really impressive. The way they've recruited the community to assist them in volunteering is second to none.
Kids with special needs are a big job. One time I once tried to say how awesome a kid is and the parent got really upset at me. And I understand that because I was talking as if they were the coolest kids and she was like in tears. You don't get what it's like to have a child in your house 24/7. And I don't. But what I do get is what I could share with society at large. And that is come into our world, come into Friendship Circle, volunteer, put your hands in it, spend time, and you will see that these kids are cool. They have so much to give you. That I could vouch for.
I wonder if you know you set me free. The circle never ends with people who love and care for me. The circle never ends with people who care to make a difference in me. I don't know when I could ever let you know how much you mean to me. The circle never ends.
Once a month, a support group of moms whose children go back to the formative years of the Friendship Circle meet for a barbecue. 20-year-old Sam Morris was 3 when doctors diagnosed him with autism.
It wasn't that they didn't want to do anything, they just didn't know what to do. So that was very discouraging and upsetting. And then one day, somebody called me, and it was Basi, and basically said, well, what do you need? What do you want? We're wanting to help kids with special needs. Nobody in the neighborhood would want to sit for Sam. The autism word, it could be frightening for people when there's not the education. But Natanya came right in there and read to him, played basketball with him. It was amazing. I think that a lot of these kids have older souls. And as I look at some of them interact with Sam, and it's like I'm watching something divine, looking at the face of God or something.
Sam now attends the West Bloomfield Transition Center, and maybe someday he'll be able to help preschoolers facing the kind of challenges he had. What type of job do you think you'd like to have?
Learning how to be a student assistant, and I bet that's why that this year the Transition Center program put me into the preschool academy for the second semester.
These women weren't ashamed to put their children with autism in public view. Others, sadly, hide from it.
A lot of special needs parents that a lot of them
don't want to accept it. The earlier that you have intervention with these children, the higher they go, the more they can do.
We find so much comfort here. The fact that our children are accepted and not judged. And as well, when they have meltdowns or things aren't going their way, everybody here knows how to handle things like that.
Valerie's daughter Lauren, now 25, still communicates with her teen volunteers and will graduate from Visions Unlimited in Farmington next year with the hope that she can live in a supervised group home. Years ago, these moms came to the Friendship Circle to give their children a chance. Today they share a dream that they'll soon become productive citizens.
People like Sam with autism are often the best employees. They don't get bored, they're task-based, and Sam loves people on top of it. So, okay, if I was an employer, I'd go for a little bit of modification. If I get a worker that shows up every day, wants to be there, is so careful, is so honest, Sam doesn't know how to lie.
Our mission is for everyone to be able to see the soul and the spirit of the person, not to see the other person as deficient, but to see past that, because we all have our deficiencies.
Could we really just handle helping right now 1,000 more families or even 200 more families? Honestly, no. But it's okay. I mean, gobbling, this will, recognition will come together with funds coming, and we're not stopping. We're going to keep growing.
You give me strength to cope with all my trials. The circle never ends with people who love and care for me.
That simple plan and the magical, unanticipated bond between child and teen that broke down differences and created lifetime friendships has now spread to 80 cities, and someday may reach around the entire globe in a never-ending circle of friendship.
With people who care to make a difference in me. I don't know when I could ever let you know how much you mean to me. Just what you mean.